Hey guys, in this episode we are going to be cleaning up the crankcase for our IO 540. Let's get to it.
We have finished tightening the crankshaft gear bolt, and now we're just taking the flange and pulling it up.
Lift it up.
Check this out. Yeah, no, it makes my life a little bit easier though. Mind if I steal some gasoline real quick? Just for a few seconds. Edge.
It's a cylinder. See this double line?
Yeah,
It's a
silk thread. Yeah. Might not work for enough needle. And I'm gonna remove this RTV, but I might do some touch-up paint later because some of this RTV we painted over slightly.
So I'd like to remove the oil injectors. I mean these nozzles. It spray the oil
Yeah.
to the bottom of the piston.
Yeah.
And probably something can't easily go there, like dust, or I would like to remove it and clean these canals. I mean holes, to be sure it's clean and nothing stick inside, because if it'll be black,
Bad things.
yeah, so the piston becomes overheat. Tiny dot of rust.
Yeah.
And probably the rust start to grow on the entire surface of the inner sleeve.
Sure.
Try to rotate it and you feel like obstacles.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I can order a new one before we put the
I
accessory
think
case on.
Yeah, it's cheap and we will receive it in a couple of days.
Yeah, sure. Lift it for a half second.
Help?
No. Scotch Brite might not be enough for this. I need to get a little bit of sandpaper. I don't know if I can get this any more clean than what it is. I think I need something else to remove the rest of it.
I will take care about the engine. You can continue your wiring for the sensor.
Sure. That are not yet done. Although I still haven't received my sensors from the adapters I need to finish the sensors, but all of the firewall forward sensors are complete. So yeah, the only thing I have left to do, this gear is done by the way, except, well, actually I need to fix this. I guess I could do that today. But all the firewall forward sensors are done. I routed these through already. You know, and I also, I had to re-drill some holes for the fitment of this gear uplock hook. So it uplocks properly now. But once I get the panel on, I still need to run some tests. And I think maybe I want to get the panel on and run those tests before we mount the engine.
Why before?
Because, well, if I need to make changes to the gear, the engine will be in the way. But I think I should be able to wrap up the panel and close it, or at least get it functional very soon. As long as we can torque down these two bolts here, I can finish up closing up enough stuff to let us run the tests. Okay. But the hydraulic system is not that hard to finish, I think. Anyways. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, spent many days just wiring, staying in here until like midnight, just doing wires. Nothing else, just wires. Not even hard. I even made this this tool. I'm thinking about selling it. I haven't finished. This is a prototype that I created that lets you strip shielded wires. So when you're doing shielded wires, there's a specific spec you have to follow.
Okay.
1.25 inches minimum, 3 inches maximum. But you're also supposed to, if you're wiring up multiple shield drains, the drain for the outer jacket goes on the connector, but you're supposed to stagger it by 0.25 inches. So I have a tool where you put a blade wherever you want to stagger it, and you can rotate it around, because otherwise it's a pain. You have to measure. Yeah, it's a big pain, the biggest. And I can make this tool very cheaply, and I'm thinking about selling it. We'll see. That's just a prototype. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. I don't mind if anybody copies it. I'm just there to sell it. I'm not too concerned about copies. It's gonna happen no matter what you do. What is it doing? Safety glasses.
Is it expensive to get a patent for the...
Yes, but I'm not concerned about that. If you offer the best version of that product, you will get the customers. A patent takes many years sometimes, and it costs several $1,000s. So patents are not easy to get. I know this. It's very expensive, very time consuming, but maybe. And even if you have a patent, people will still copy it and sell it. They don't care. In China, they don't care. China has different laws than us. They don't have to respect the US patent. Need to borrow your gasoline. Any left? Just how it goes at Rio Linda. It's always raining. Yes, I'll turn it back on. Yes, 1 second. Finally. Spent so long on that. So long.
And now we are just going to unbox some of the gaskets. When you overhaul an engine, there is a list of required parts to replace, and that includes almost all of the gaskets. So we have the parts kit for that. We're getting it open.
Not in this place. Okay, just keep it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you're the guy to call, huh? I'll keep that in mind. Bother you when my wife gets a flat tire. No, I understand. I have sometimes been that guy. You know, they call you, they don't know what to do. So I understand your pain a little bit sometimes. Especially when it comes to cars. Once your friends know that you're good with cars, it's over. Always calling you. But the funny thing to me is like, it's interesting to me because a lot of things that I get calls about, to me, are so basic, you know? But they just don't know, you know? And like, I told my friend, like, my car doesn't start, what am I gonna do? Your battery is dead. He's like, what do you mean, battery? What are you talking about? But all the gaskets are here. That's why I bought this kit. So we know we have all of the gaskets to ever exist, ever.
Just going through with compressed air and cleaning out all of the galleys.
So we were looking at stuff. Turns out this is clogged. So we have to order another one. Put a little dip in our plans today, but gotta do it. And also, we're going to order a new bearing here, because it looks like this one is corroded a little bit. So we're gonna order these. I don't think we're gonna put the crankcase together today, but at least we got it cleaned up. You see, we were looking at this, and we actually think that this might have failed a long time before we even took it off. What were you talking about, Dennis?
The dark area closer to you looks like the all-time defect. I mean.
Yeah, so I'm glad we took it out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, bad things would have happened, I think. Now I gotta order a new one. Interesting. So we're still here with Dennis. Sorry I haven't been recording. We've just been hard at work doing a bunch of boring stuff. So we were taking a look at these magneto drive isolation bearings, and turns out for the overhaul, both of these need to be replaced. And they need to be replaced anyways because they are a little bit rusty. Now initially I was actually thinking of taking these out and seeing if I could restore them to see if I could get them to be smooth again. But didn't know if that was a good idea, but we're in luck because we are in experimental. So the Lycoming part for this is about $150. However, I looked at the part number, looked at the dimensions, and these are actually about $15 bearings. So if this was a certified build, we would have to use the certified version, which is just a rebranding of the actual version that comes from a company called Fafnir. But luckily these are only about, $15, $20, so we can just order new ones without having to worry about that and put them in. But yeah, more parts to order, more things to wait. And Dennis is getting pretty tired of scraping and scrubbing, I think, isn't that right?
Oh yeah, guys.
But we'll get there eventually. We'll get there. As good progress is being made. I may or may not see if I have time to mount the autopilot today. I don't know if I'll get to that, but what I do want to do today is take this trim system. So I finished outfitting this with a steel coupling rod. I think the old aluminum one is laying on the ground over here. And actually I'll show you, Dennis, as well, since I don't think I showed you why I redid my work. But if you see this is aluminum. Mm-hmm. And I could just bend it with my hand. So I replaced that with a steel one.
Oh,
so
that's
this,
nice.
this is what is driving the electric trim. So I'm gonna see if I can mount this today, and I'm just gonna lube it up, and that'll be some good progress because this needs to connect to the autopilot servos anyways, and I want to have this out of the way. And then we can look at maybe riveting the flap controller into place. Something else I need to do is for this motor here, I'm probably gonna design a 3D printed spacer. I can go underneath here because this doesn't have all the space in the world. But yeah, other than that, see if I can accomplish that today or not. Yeah. We all have a Dr. Pepper here. Oh no, wait, we have to bring it in. I have to bring in the Dr. Pepper. Bring it in.
Cheers.
Yeah. Dr. Pepper addiction, yeah. They should. They should. Here, let me get a light to show you. So we discovered something interesting. So while Dennis was suggesting we inspect and clear the oil nozzles, we discovered something that made me really glad that Dennis exists. You see this here?
Yeah.
You see how it's broken off?
Yeah, it's definitely broken.
So this broke, but here's the thing. I was looking at this, and I'm pretty sure this has been broken for a while. Because look, you see where the metal is a little bit brighter? I think that's where we freshly broke it off by trying to untighten it. Well, here, I have a light. I think that's where it broke off when we tried to freshly untighten it, but I actually think that this might have been broken a long time before because this is darkened. I think oil was getting into this a long time before we ever even undid it to loosen it. I think it might have been broken a while.
There's some schools of thought to this. When metal fractures, it has the what's it called, the cratery side to it. And then there's a shiny surface. I think it's brittle versus elastic fracture.
But I think it's been broken a while, to be honest with you, because I feel like it would be brighter, don't you think?
No, if it broke, if it has been broken for a while, it wouldn't be this like half state.
But yeah, I have to buy an extractor and we can put it out. And you know, these things are $75. You don't happen to have a spare Lycoming just laying around, do you?
I know the guy who does.
Who?
Kenny Faith.
Oh yeah? Well, I might just order one. They're only $75.
Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I know I've been a little bit behind with editing lately. I'm actually probably almost like a year behind in terms of footage. The project is coming along great, and we'll get to it. See ya.